All right, this gonna be part two of my testimony. We spoke about the trial. I got sentenced to 15 years. And so the day after my trial, uh, they shipped me out of Colorado and they sent me to Leavenworth Prison. That's the disciplinary barracks, Leavenworth Prison, a military prison, right? But even though I was sentenced, man, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat, man. My life was over with. I felt my life was over with. I couldn't eat. And even before I think went to trial or something like that, my stepdad, my mom's, and them was up there. They brought my daughter to come and see me. And I wasn't close to my daughter, man. I actually left her, when I was in the military. I really didn't care about nobody but myself anyway. So I really didn't care about too much, right? But when I got in prison, when I got in jail, man, God did something to my heart. You know, and so it was visiting day in the county jail. That's prior to my court martial, prior to the jury's finding me guilty. But my stepdad and my daughter was at the glass, man. We was talking, right? And I just asked him to take care of my daughter, man, because I didn't think I was ever coming back home. I thought I was going to get that 100-something off the top. So I really didn't think I was ever coming back home. And that's a strange way to think of something, right? So I just asked him to take care of my daughter, I wasn't doing it in the beginning, and all of a sudden I care now. Come on, man. You're doing this because you're in prison. Now you care. And that's what people will tell everybody when they get locked up. Oh, you care now because you're in prison. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Getting locked up really changed your perspective in life, You really start seeing what's precious in life. Especially, man, if God deal with you now. Dude, you get soft as cotton in your heart. You know what I'm saying, man? But you can't show it that much. But, man, you really start seeing, man, what's precious in life, And that's what I mean by soft. Your heart, man, becomes tender. And you start seeing things in a different way. You're not as selfish as you used to be, right? And so, man, I get a court martial. That next day, they flew me out quick. They didn't even give me time to, see another day in Colorado. I mean, that next morning, the buzz on the wall buzz. I was like, all right, get up. They here to take you out, right? So I hit a flight, man. They take me to Kansas. I go to the military prison. They put me in Fort Base. And Fort Base, man, basically is a part of that prison. I think they tore it down and made a new one. But Fort Base is actually this crazy spot in the military prison. Man, they do people crazy in the military prison, right? I didn't stay there, but not even a month because they shipped me out of there. From that prison to Leavenworth prison down the street, the feds, right? But that Fort Base is I was in this place where it was just like plexiglass on wire. You was in this cell and it was just glass and wire, man. It wasn't no bars. It was plexiglass and wire so they can just watch you, right? And behind us was another part of Fort Base, man. And I think it was only a couple cats back there, man, but it was off the chain. Them dudes, when they come from out of there, they handcuff foot and the arms, and they carrying them with their face down to the ground. 4 dudes carrying these people across the deck, man. And they said that them dudes back there they just wild out back there, right? And the dude next to me, I don't know what he did in the main general population, but he was only on bread. They only gave him bread and water, something like that. And he was eating toothpaste. I think they gave him a multivitamin, something like that. And I didn't even know I was on Fort Base, but I messed up when I went to my, what would they call it? Like your reception, when you talk to the people at the unit, the ward, and all that crazy stuff. When I was in there, they was asking me these questions, right? They asked me that I had post-traumatic stress. I didn't know what post-traumatic stress was. I used to just zone out while they was talking, right? Because I'm like, man, I don't even believe it's me. They said they had post-traumatic stress because while they talking, I just dazed off because I'm thinking, like, man, is this really me sitting right here? After all these plans in my life, after all these years in the military, I'm sitting right here like nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put more work in, got more rank than y'all people that's sitting around me, man. And y'all talking to me like I'm not nothing. I was gone, right? I was like, man, does this really feel? You know how you want to pinch yourself and wake up from a bad dream, man? That's how it was. I wish I could have pinched myself and woke up, but I couldn't, right? And they told me I had some post-traumatic stress and all this crazy stuff, and I didn't know what post-traumatic stress was back then, right? But I messed up and said, hey, man, I said, hey, I'm gonna let y'all know that I'm not gonna talk. I gave the dude name. I said, I'm not gonna cause no problems on the compound with dude. And they's like, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, man, he came and testified against me. And he did this and this, but I'm cool with him. It's cool. And it's like, oh, really? And man, I did not know that they dropped the ball. They was gonna let me in general population in the military prison, and they weren't supposed to. Man, all I know, I get woke up one day and I was like, hey man, what's going on? Where I'm going? Oh, you going down the street? I said, down the street? It's like, yeah, you gotta go to the regular federal prison. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you don't even supposed to be here. And I was like, oh my God. I said, I should have shut my mouth, right? So I'm tripping now. So I'm saying, man, I'm going to the federal joint. I'm not even around military dudes no more. They shoot me down the street. Well, there's some strange people down the street. You know what I'm saying, man? This is real deal Fed joint, right? This is Leavenworth Prison, right? Man, I called to the crib. I'm like, dang, I think I was crying, man. I was like, man, they shipping me out here. I don't know where I'm going, right? And so when I get there, man, I swear I felt like an ant. Because it wasn't up walls, man. I felt like an ant getting out that van, right? And all I knew was this. I said, man, I'm not going home. Because I'm going to get killed to somebody else. You got to kill somebody in this spot, right? Because you go from a secure type mentality in the military. Because even though you're in a military prison, you still got military personnel. So you still cool in a way with them, right? But when you get shot down the street to a civilian joint, man, that military thing out the door. It's like, hey, dude, you dealing with all type of gangs, man. You dealing with Aryan Brotherhood. You dealing with Latin Kings. You dealing with GDs, BDs. Man, you dealing with Crips. You dealing with Bloods. Man, you dealing with Texas Syndicate. You dealing with Mexican Mafia. You dealing with serial killers. You dealing with rapists. Man, you dealing with everybody. You had Silverstein in the back, but in the shoe underground. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like, man, you dealing with everybody mama here. And I met some dudes in there. I met leaders of all type of groups in there, right? So this ain't no place, right? But in there, man, God really developed me spiritually, man. I mean, it seems like he'll put you in the hardest places to bring you deeper in him, because you got to trust him the more, because he would deal with your heart to a way that you really can't pull away from him. It's a weird thing how to say it, man. It's almost like he puts himself in you to draw you to him. So he give you a part of him to draw you to him, right? And so in your weaknesses, you'll be strong, but it's him being strong in you to help you in your weaknesses, right? To keep you drawn toward him, seeking him, relying on him. It's almost like he's crying out to himself. Abba, Father. It's weird, but it causes you to cry out. Abba, Father. Helps you in your weakness. I believe the Holy Spirit helps us, and he does helps us in our weaknesses. And I believe this help that he helps us with is constantly going toward the Father, right? And so in Leavenworth is where the Lord really started taking me into the spirit realm, right? I mean, deep into the spirit realm. I call deep, but I know it's not even deep. It's shallow compared to what the spirit realm is, but I call it deep because that's all I know, right? But that's when I really started doing a lot of repenting, a lot of crying out to God, a lot of, I just started getting radical for the Lord, man. He started trenching me in him, right? And that's when I started having a lot of experiences in the spiritual, seeing things that I've never seen before. Hearing his voice. I've been to hell. I've been to heaven. I've seen operations in the heavens and how things operate. And one thing that sticks out to me, and I think he gave it to me on purpose to show me, was when I was taken to heaven. I call it heaven, but the way heaven is set up is actually set up like governments of earth, where there's operations in heaven that regulates things on earth. That's what I call it, governments in heaven, right? Operations in heaven that regulate things that happen on earth, right? And so these two angels, they come and get me, and I thought I was dead, and I was happy because I wasn't in prison, right? I was like, yeah, I finally made it. I finally made it. They looking at me crazy when I say I finally made it, because you can feel yourself free from this life, man. It's you can just feel it, right? So we flying, we going through the sky, and we just turn straight and we shoot. And but when we was leaving, I was like, I finally made it. I finally made it. And they looking at me crazy, right? But then we straighten out and we go straight. We end up in this room. And so when we end up in this room, I'm standing there, and it's these tables, and it's these scales on the table. It's almost like it ain't the scales like the chain like you see on the justice, the lady with the blindfold, and them type of scales. But it's a regular scale with the little thing on the top. When you put something on it, it press down and the thing move, right? And so we standing there in this scale room, and there was these I don't even know if you want to call them angels. I just call them beings, but they look almost human. They just look like people, but they don't look like angels like we describe angels. I can't even say they had clothes on, but they people behind scales, right? And so what happened is I'm standing there, and then this angel come from the earth. This angel come up from the earth. How I know he come up from the earth? You just know it. And this angel said this. He said, and I'm gonna tell you the story what happened on earth. He said, "Hey man, this." He didn't say amen, but this is what I'm saying. He said, whoever this angel assigned to, this person did something, because we all have angels assigned to us, and our hearts are weighed in the heavens. The intentions of our hearts are weighed in the heavens when we do things, right? And so I was standing in this room. This angel come up from the earth, and he said, "Hey, this guy gave these free rooms to these Boy Scouts. Their van was driving, it broke down. They didn't have enough money to purchase all the rooms, so he gave them free rooms. And they said, well, give us his heart that it may be weighed." So he had something in his hand. He gave it to the people that manned the scale. I call them people. He gave it to the people, I'm not going to say creatures. He gave it to the people that manned the scale. They took it, they put it on the scale. When they put it on the scale, they waited a while and said, he is righteous. That's what they said, he's righteous. Even though this man gave these free rooms, and he wasn't a hotel owner, but he was a hotel worker. Even though he gave these group of people these rooms, even when he was supposed to, because they didn't have the money to, but his heart was weighed and he was considered righteous, right? And so I looked at the scale. I took this thing. It looked like a coin, right, off the scale, and I put it in my pocket. I was like, hey, man, when I get back, I'm going to hide this in my pocket, and I'm going to be able to show people. When I get back, it wasn't in my pocket anyway. And I was considered a thief because I took that thing off the scale. I was a thief in heaven. But it wasn't in my pocket. But so that stuck with me, and it still sticks with me all my life, that we can't really judge people by what we see, because God deals with people by the intentions of their heart. That's why a person can do good, and man, it can mean you evil. It seems good, but it's not, because their intent was a whole different thing. And then there's people that's doing things that we might judge them as evil, or, man, that wasn't right. That wasn't righteous. But the intentions were so true, so good, that in heaven, God considered them righteous. So we got to really be careful how we judge people. And that's what he dealt with me early in life about, judging people, dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to really ask the Lord for the intentions of a person's heart. The intentions of a person's heart means a lot. And that's what's weighed in heaven. Your actions spring forth sin. That's true. But your intentions of your heart, that's weighed in the heavens, man. And you are found just or unjust in the heavens. And that's what's really go strike you and condemn you or find you, or you can find yourself blessed on earth. It's your heart. It's the intentions of your heart. And that's what's weighed, man. And we all have angels. I don't care who you are on earth. You have an angel assigned to you in your heart being weighed with all the actions, all the things you do is being weighed in heaven. There's nothing hidden, man. There's nothing hidden. And the things people don't even see you do is still being weighed. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that to say it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. This is why you don't have to do things and want everybody to see it and clap for you and don't let the right hand, you know what the Lord said, don't let the left hand with the right hand doing, and the Pharisees, they want people to see them do all them crazy things. Man, their heart is weighed. Why are you really doing this? Your heart is weighed in the heavens, man. You know, man, so it ain't what people seeing what they clap about. God said, yeah, okay, you can clap all day, but I'm weighing this person's heart. And man, y'all clapping and giggling and happy they did this thing, but his heart was dirty. That was an unrighteous act in the heavens, you know. So, man, I believe me, a person can feed you, and there's poison in the food. You know, and that's just how it is, man. A person will call you and take you out to dinner while they friends sleeping with your wife. It was all a setup. Bro, I thank you for taking me out to dinner. Oh, no problem at all. And all the time while you were sitting there with the setup, they backdoored you, man. They creeped into your house and got you, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. Every good thing is not a righteous thing, you know. And everything we think bad is not an evil thing. You know, I know that's hard to say, but there's righteousness and unrighteousness, man. I went on too long with that part, on that vision. But the Lord really dealt with me on that. It wasn't even a vision. It was actually what would you call it? A visitation. You know, where the Lord, you will visit heaven. But that's me, man. You know, God really dealt with me in Leavenworth, man. He really dealt with me, man. And some things went down, man. And I was 11 months in the hole, and he really dealt with me there in the hole, man. And that was my time with him, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it strengthened me, prepared me for my next move. You know, and my next move was Memphis, Tennessee, FCI Memphis, man. And I went there, and it prepared me for that environment, you know, because it was a medium high, but it had a lot of different type of movement to it. Because you got to think, the lower your custody level drop, the more playfulness occurs. The higher the custody level, the more serious things is. So I was working my way down in my custody level. And so Memphis was a different story, but I still learned a lot. And I can say, honestly, I was still functioning in part into that gang thing. And it wasn't right. And I know it wasn't right. You know, I was still eating from two tables of demons and a table of God. And that comes with maturity. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mature in Christ, but I had a lot of experience and knowledge in Christ. My maturity level was really low. And so Memphis was just a more relaxed type time for me, where I was showing a lot of my weaknesses in regards to the flesh and things like that. And so coming up on 20 minutes, look like it's gonna be a part 3, and I swear I'm gonna blow through the next one. I'm gonna rush through the next one real quick, and I give you so much details on a lot of things. All right, I love y'all. Peace.